Hello, people. Expecting millions on here right now since it's Friday evening. It's the best time to be in the gym. Gyms always close early on on Fridays, and I'm always surprised by how many people don't go to the gym on Fridays. Cause what's up, Sauce Benger? Because I mean, don't most people's workout programs like have a Friday included? I don't know. I guess that must just be the people who are like more just going there to like get fit or something. Maybe they don't like to go on Friday. Because I would say that yeah, I see a lot. I guess I see more serious people. There's more people doing compound exercises, squatting, shit like that. So it looks like I've been doing more Eastern Europe planning, and it looks like the end of summer could be a target date. The end of summer, September, that could be a target date for hauling my ass out of America again. That'll be nice. Yeah, it's been nice being here, but it's not the place for me. So, one of the things I really liked about Thailand was the fact that I didn't feel like I was getting ripped off for just everyday things. So, for example, living in LA, when I was living on Los Angeles, that tiny little house that I was renting, that thing cost almost $2,000 a month. Okay, but I had an apartment in Thailand for $125 a month, and it came with a maid. That wasn't the greatest apartment ever, but the most I ever paid for an apartment in Thailand was a 6-month. It was a 6-month lease, and it was $600 a month, and it was a really nice apartment, and it was really close to Muscle Factory, and it was right next to the BTS SkyTrain. So that's the most I ever paid for an apartment in Thailand. And then, back here, it's 3 times that for, a similar accommodation. But $600 a month was not the normal price I was paying for an apartment in Thailand. More normal price would be, like my first apartment was $250 a month. That was really nice, actually. Perfect for me. And had another apartment that was $200 a month. That was not in as popular of an area, but it was bigger. Like I said, there was one that was $125 a month. The normal price, somewhere between, normal price for an apartment in Bangkok is somewhere between $200 and $500 for a single guy for a month. It's like a nice place. So, for example, when I was in LA renting that house, that was, almost $2,000 a month. That was, you just get this, it's a bad taste in your mouth. It leaves a bad taste in your mouth. You're like, this isn't worth that, man. I know I'm being ripped off. And then the same with, like going to restaurants or like going and buying food. Thank you, Corey Clark. I'm glad you enjoy the guitar. The guitar. I love it too. But yeah, Drew, XX Drew XX. Yeah, thanks for the book, bro. It's definitely worth it. Love reading it. Peace. You the man. You the man. I'm going to give you a bicep flex for that. You see that? I'm giving you a biceps flex for that, Drew. But you know what? When I go to buy food in Thailand too, it's like like $1.50 a plate, or $2 or something like that. And when I would take Thai women out at night, and we would go to a restaurant, I'd buy us a whole meal, and that thing was definitely not more than $10, and we would have tons of food on the table. Like not just like her plate and my plate. In Thailand, you share the food. The food you eat in Thailand, you don't like order your own plate. You order like dishes and they come out and you share it. So maybe we'd order, like 7 different items, and it'd be $10. And I just feel better about that, okay? I feel good about it. I'm sure that some of you guys can relate to me in that when you buy stuff in America sometimes, or you like go to a restaurant or something, and you're just like, man, they're like raping me. Because it's just like what the amount of money that you're paying it's not the value of the goods. Yeah, $100 for a date. Yeah, that's normal in America. But the value of the goods are, they're not that much. It's only this inflated value. So that was one of the catalysts. I wouldn't say a catalyst, but it's something that I really enjoy about living outside of the Western world, because I don't feel like I'm getting ripped off. I feel much better about the money I spend. I'm much more likely to be, I feel more generous as well, because I'm not feeling like I'm getting ripped off on a regular basis. And because of that, I'm much more generous. And it adds to my peace. Feeling like I'm getting a fair deal. So I've been looking at Eastern Europe. I don't know if any of you guys are from Eastern Europe, but the prices are pretty similar to what they are in Asia. So there's a couple countries in Asia that do have bad prices. One would be Korea. Another would be Japan. Another would be Singapore. The prices in those places are bad. You'll be paying the same or even more for like food or something or housing than you would in America. Like, for example, like 3 tacos from Taco Bell is $10 in Korea. So that's that. But I've been looking at the Eastern Europe ones. The countries that I'm most interested in is Bulgaria, Latvia, and Ukraine. Hungary, also Hungary. Those are the countries I am most interested in, and you guys will be seeing me there in a matter of months. So that is not this is not just speculation. This is, you will be seeing me there. See me, I'm in San Francisco, California right now. Well, the background around my face is going to be changing soon. So looking forward to that. Right now I did squatting today. I was on the squats. And then I did the calf raise, the donkey calf raise. That is a really good machine, you guys. So I have big calves, just to let you know. You can look through my Instagram if you're wondering. Bodybuilder in Thailand on Instagram. So I didn't always have big calves, so I had normal calves. And when I was in Thailand, after I started using gear, I never trained my calves. Because I don't know, I just never really saw the point. I was like, what? Why would I train my calves? And then when I was in Thailand, I noticed like man, my calves like are not in proportion to my thighs. And so I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll start trading them. And so what I started doing was single-legged, like extensions or like stretch and then flex with just one leg on a step. Just going up, down for about 30 reps or even 50 reps. And I'd do like 3 sets of that. And that would be my calf workout after I did the legs. I trained them the same amount of time as I train legs. I just train them on leg day. What I do is after I finish the squats or the deadlifts, then I go do that thing where I do the single leg, just with my foot on a step, like on stairs, and go up, down, until it feels like it's gonna freaking like burn off my leg and explode. And that alone, doing that alone, brought my calves up to where they were absolutely in proportion with my legs. My legs in general are more muscular than my upper body. That's the way I was born. So my legs grow muscle more easily than my upper body does. Now, what I'm doing for calves is, I've continued doing that one-legged leg raise on step on leg days, but I want to get the calves more extreme. So what I'm doing is I've added donkey calf raises with 400 pounds for sets of 25 reps. And on the donkey calf raises, I just add another set each leg day. So for example, today I did 5 sets of that. So instead of, it used to only be one set of 25 reps on the donkey calf raise with the 400 pounds of 15 to 25 reps. And now it's 5. So that is going well. Have stretch marks on the calves, and they are currently getting bigger. I noticed that people really notice calves. It's almost like forearms or biceps. It's one of the muscles that your average Joe, bodybuilders too, other bodybuilders too, but your average Joe, if you've got calves that hang off of your leg like a tumor or something down there, right? The normal person sees that, your average person sees that and thinks, wow, that's really impressive. That catches their eye, but it also catches other bodybuilders' eyes. So actually, in addition to, after I started building them up a bit with those extensions on the step, I started getting a lot of comments. Like, whoa, nice calves, man. Or huge calves. Look at this guy's calves. And that like really made me think, really? Okay. Well, then I'm going to take this more seriously. Because I was getting like positive reinforcement. So just know if you need some motivation to train calves that people really notice them. And after you start building them up, you're gonna be rewarded by some nice pats on the back for your accomplishments. I'm gonna stay on here for 5 more minutes. So then it'll be 45 minutes of cardio. So if you got questions, ask them. Feel like we're gonna be one of the things that's going to be good for me in getting out of America again is going to be getting my head out of the political stuff, because I will return one day again. I will return and become a politician. Been taking metformin for about 12 days now. Why does my stomach never feel bloated anymore? Is that part of it? Gerard asked us if I'm on cycle right now. I started a cycle 7 days ago. So it's It's not really showing yet. I was on cruise, so I was taking 250 milligrams of testosterone per week, with 500 IU of HCG per week for nearly 3 months. So that was since March. And then about 7 days ago, I started upping the dose a bit. So not really showing yet, but it will be soon. I'm gonna go back on one of the messages because somebody asked me something good. Oh yeah, metformin. Why, for 12 days now, why does my stomach never feel bloated anymore? Is that part of it? So when you first start taking metformin, there are major gastrointestinal side effects that for the first 2 weeks, and then so for the first 2 weeks, you're gonna be having a lot of diarrhea, and you'll actually get quite a bit leaner because your body will not really be able to absorb food efficiently during those 2 weeks. So even if you're eating, you'll still lose weight because it'll just go right through you without getting absorbed into your bloodstream. And then the next 2 weeks, you'll have a lot of gas and diarrhea usually the first 2 weeks on metformin, and then that goes away during weeks 3 to 4. And then after 1 month, you're back to normal. You won't be having any effects like that anymore. And someone asked, will I ever use trenbolone again? Well, no, because there really is no reason to, okay? I wrote pretty scathing, especially like if you watch my video, The Truth About Trenbolone, or you read my book, the section on trenbolone, I wrote some really scathing things about it. I opened up in an honesty about that hormone that no one ever has before, and to an extent that no one ever has before. And it's just not a good thing. Why would I want to put poison in my body? Why would I want to put poison in my body? That's not why I'm doing this. I'm not doing this for short-term glory. I'm not one of these fucks that, gets, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this for any other reason but my fucking self, dude. I'm doing this because I like to have a big and strong, capable physical body. That's why I do bodybuilding, because I like that. So if I use that stupid hormone, well, that's not congruent with my goal, okay? Because that's a quick come up and a quick come down, and the only thing it's going to give to me is appearance. It will have 100% negative effects in my life other than improving my appearance. What a stupid chemical. What a stupid chemical. It'd be better if that thing was never invented. And you know what? If you look up pics on my Instagram, my freakiest pics, wasn't even on that stupid shit. I found out how you can replace it. I was using testosterone, primobolan, winstrol, anadrol, superdrol, metformin, growth hormone, and I replaced it. So, yeah, you go all out. You can replace it with other things. I'm glad you love the book, Matt. I gave somebody else a biceps for that too, so I'm going to give you one too. Waboom, okay? Let me get back to the chat. There's a couple messages I wanted to respond to. Yes, I agree with a lot of the things that Matt says. Machine work for muscle imbalances. Corey Clark. Machine is good for a little bit, but really, they're not really doing much, man. Machines, it's like, yeah. If you want to be strong in the real world, though, which I think you do, I mean, pretty much everybody that follows me by this point, I assume that they'd be turned off if they were one of the guys who is an appearance first guy and not a, if they're all show and no go type of guy, I assume that they would hate me at this point. Because yeah, I say some scathing things towards those types of people. So yeah, yeah. We want to be all go and show, but all go comes first because you're a man. You shouldn't be too focused on your appearance. It's not that important. It's important, but it's not that important, and it's not number one. You think creatine, yellow fever, nice name, bro. You think creatine water is all under muscle, or can you retain water? If you want to look shredded on a vacation, should you cut it out? That's kind of a hard question. Like, creatine has some effects, like it works a little bit, yeah, but it makes you a little bigger, and yeah, it seems to give some water retention. So, but I don't think I don't know if I ever noticed edema, or that thing where, like, you know, your sock, where, you know, when you take your socks off and it's leaving like dents in your legs. That's the kind of water retention that will make you not look good. And I don't really know if I've ever got that from creatine. It's been too long since I've taken it. Last time I took creatine had to be 5 years ago. Sam Doka says, how get a prescription for HGH? Well, I think Rich Piana showed that pretty clearly. He made some videos. Thank you, Jason. He made a comment on the live chat. Rich Piana showed videos of him getting prescribed drugs from doctors and how to do it. And I would say, in my personal experience, that's exactly the way it's been, is the way that Rich Piana showed him doing it. In those videos, that's the way it's happened for me as well. So, Rich Piana left us with a lot of good content. I'm not sure if his channel's getting watched too much anymore, but he really did leave a blueprint and a legacy. I would say that the legacy that he left on the fitness community and the bodybuilding community is the single biggest influence since Z's. When in 2000, in the mid 2000s, right? It was like the first, or the beginning of the second decade of the 2000s. Thanks, Brian. I'll keep up the work, brother. Z's came onto the scene and died, right? And he left a huge influence and a blueprint for the fitness industry that has now been a way of people taking that blueprint that he left and making tons of money. Like a lot of the fitness influencers are influenced by what he did, and a lot of the guys, like the younger wave of guys who, especially the all show no go guys, they're really influenced by him, being all show and no go. But you know, even though I don't support that, I can absolutely respect when someone shows great leadership qualities, great ability to lead men. All right, and that's what he did. And also great marketing too, very smart. And since him, the only person, and that was all the way back, you know, like in 2010 or something, the only person who has come back through the bodybuilding and fitness industry and has had anywhere near that kind of impact, and I would say had an equally large impact, was Rich Piana. And Rich Piana did a very similar thing. So he left a massive blueprint for how to make money with bodybuilding on social media. A very good resource for this old channel, watching those videos and learning from them. And the reason why I was talking about that was because somebody asked, how to get prescribed growth hormone, and he does it in those videos. He shows you how to get prescribed growth hormones. So I'll just say that I will vouch for that and say that I actually am prescribed growth hormone, although I don't use it. I do have a prescription for it. And I will say that, yeah, it happened for me exactly the same way as it happened for Rich Piana. Print out and sell copies of your book that people can get signed. Yeah, that would be cool. I thought about making it a paperback. Thought about making it a paperback. Drew G says, how did you get that prescription? Dude, I just said, I got it the same way that Rich Piana got it. Go watch Rich Piana's videos getting prescribed growth hormone and IGF-1 and stuff. I just did the same thing. Why wouldn't you just run 2IU every day forever? Because it's expensive. It's really expensive. So it's not hard to spend $1,000 a month on that stuff. Not at all. Then you're using pharmaceutical grade. So that's why. Also, it's kind of heavy on your system. I don't think 2IUs is, but I don't know. It's kind of a freaky. I do have a prescription, yeah, but I don't use it. I haven't used it since last August, but I do have a prescription. That's what I said, yes. But yeah, it's kind of heavy on your system. Like, it makes you gain 10 pounds just taking it. Just the fuel storage that your body takes on is about 10 pounds within the first week of starting that. And you're going to be carrying that around with you in addition to that. When you first start taking hormones or testosterone, you also gain 10 pounds. So then you start taking GH and you gain another 10 pounds. So now you're carrying around 20 pounds of extra fuel storage and fluid on you all the time. And that even happens on only 2 units per day of growth hormone. So that's a pretty heavy strain on your system. So, and it also just grows things, it grows things indiscriminately. Just doesn't seem like something that I'd want to. And also it fuels cancer. It helps prevent cancer if you don't have cancer. So yeah, that's good. But then what if by some fluke you get cancer? Then that IGF-1 is directly growing your cancer. So there's reasons not to take it. There's reasons to take it, and there's reasons not to take it. BF Swab says, what do you think of test-only cycle? Yeah, it's great. Just make sure you use pharmaceutical grade. If you don't, I think you'll be disappointed. Hi, John in the Philippines. What's up, brother? John Kevin. Reading these comments right now. Louis says, when are you having a meetup for fans? Okay, so this is the thing. Because I used to meet up with quite a few fans in Thailand because guys would hit me up. I still get hit up with guys asking for Thailand information daily. Absolutely, every single day. And I still, I have a memory of Thailand as if I was there. So I know what all the streets look like. I know what all the sidewalks look like. I know all the different places. And I can still talk to these guys when they ask me for info as if I still lived there right now. So usually what I like to do, I like meeting up with guys when I go to new places. So usually when guys hit me up, it's like, yeah, somebody makes effort to reach out and hit me up, meet up with them. Sometimes they're weird, sometimes they're cool, but usually the guys, if you wait and let them make the effort, let them reach out and, make that effort, then usually they're cooler guys. Someone just now asked about SARMs, Corey Clark, being worth it without a test base. And so this is the thing with those, is you got to remember that there are no SARM monsters, okay? There are no, I was looking at my bicep. There are no SARM monsters. Let me repeat that. So, if your dreams are to look like a bodybuilder, you know what you have to do. You know what you have to do. Nothing's going to replace that. Nothing's going to change that. But what SARMs are is they're drugs they're under research and development for being non-hormonal molecules. They're chemicals that are not hormones that still work on the androgen receptor. You say SARMs are a joke. So they do work. They do work. And I personally am taking S23 right now, and which is a SARM. And I will say that the emotional outbursts that this thing promotes in you is some of the strongest I have ever felt from any substance I have ever taken. That's a 100%, that's the way it is, man. This stuff, I almost think you can't even be a normal person and take this stuff. I'm not gonna say it's stronger, okay, but I'm gonna say it's comparable. Somebody said even versus trend, and I'm gonna say it's comparable. It's not, but I'm only talking about emotional outbursts when I say comparable. Nothing weird. There's nothing weird about it. It's more comparable to test suspension, but not as strong. No, not as strong. But or like, if I really had to say one, I would say the mental effects of S23 are pretty much the same as the mental effects of Anadrol. Okay. Any of the test suspension and the trend, throw that out. Okay, I don't want to compare it to that because I can't feel confident giving you that comparison. It's like Anadrol mentally. Mentally, S23, the SARM is like Anadrol. So, outbursts. For example, I heard the UPS guy yelling at my dog the other day when I had my dog in the front yard. And he sounded very aggressive. I was in the house and I didn't know who he was. But in the split second that I heard him raising his voice, it sounded to me like my dog's life was in danger. So I went flying out of the house, Protect my dog, dude. And ended up, not having that happen. Although what he was doing, interacting with my dog in that way, was incredibly inappropriate. He gave me the package and walked away. But I would say that the response that I had was also inappropriate and exaggerated. I don't know if it was inappropriate. I wouldn't say it was inappropriate. No, it was appropriate because I definitely felt like my dog's life was in danger. So I was like going out there like at full steam. But it was in my reaction. I realized in hindsight it was excessive. Okay. And pretty much, if you take S23 the first day, I mean, that happens, and it pretty much happens. It's not something you want to take and be a normal member of society. I'm serious, it's really weird stuff, man. It is really weird stuff. You want to try it? All right, guys. I'm gonna be taking off now. Let me see if I can answer one more question. What kind of dog? Yorkie, Yorkshire Terrier. She's a total bitch. but part of the family. So gets that, you know, it's like allies. It's like NATO. I defend my dog. John says, do you believe eating calories from chocolate may help gaining muscle or gain fat? Thanks, Matt. See you later. I don't know about chocolate, because the actual, like, sugar just really isn't that good. It's kind of like drinking alcohol. Like, it's metabolized by your body in the same way. Fructose and alcohol go through a similar metabolic process before they can be used as energy. So it's generally not the best way to do it, but I do know and have experienced myself that ice cream does work for gaining muscle. And I know that is a tool that is used by many bodybuilders, is ice cream. And it was even talked about by GH15, Nasser El Sonbadi, in his Bible. So, yeah, ice cream. Ice cream, that's a real thing. That's a real thing, and I've experienced it myself. Ice cream helping me gain muscle. Ice cream's very addictive, though. So I haven't had any in a long time. Pizza's addictive too. Just sugar in general is addictive. It's definitely addictive. Like, oh my God, dude. Look at what it does to your body. Look at what sugar does to people's bodies. It like morphs their bodies and deforms them and makes them all, like, destroys their health, gives them diabetes, kills them. It's absolutely a hardcore drug. Sugar. I mean, I don't really see too much difference between like sugar and like cocaine, for example, because like one's just more acceptable than another. Although I think that cocaine is a very terrible drug and there's no use for it. The sugar actually physically looks the same. You know, it's a white powdery crystal. That's the same look as pretty much all other drugs. So it's not something that I want to have in my life, actually. I have removed it from my life while I've been here in America, because like I said, I made changes when I came here for my health and shit ever since the hospital in Colombia. And you know, now maybe I'll have a tiny bit of sugar, you know, maybe I'll have like a slice of pie at a social gathering, you know, like once a week or something. But other than that, I'm really not trying to have that. If I do have sugar, then I would want it to be a piece of fruit, because then it comes with the fiber and it comes from a natural source, and then it has other nutrients in it that are good. But for the most part, and I've talked about this before, is I just want to be putting in foods into my body that either grow in the ground or they are animals that walk around. So eating animals or eating things that come from animals. I don't really want to put other things into my body. And when I do put sugar in my body, my blood sugar goes insane. And I start having massive mood swings, massive blood sugar swings, where I'm not able to control anymore the amount of food that I put in my body. When I'm very insulin sensitive because I'm not eating sugar, it doesn't really matter. Like if I get hungry, I'll never feel desperate or anxious about it. But when I've been eating a lot of sugar, I will feel anxious and desperate for food. Similar to the way a drug addict feels desperate and anxious for their drugs. Like I said, it's a white powder. Sugar is a white crystal powder. It's a hardcore drug. And so basically what I started doing was, I just won't bring that shit into my house. Won't let that shit into my house. If occasionally, for social reasons, it's a drug that people like to engage in for social reasons, and I will partake. I will partake at those times. But my life's better off without it otherwise. So that's that. All right, guys. I've been doing my cardio now for, I just now realized it's been 65 minutes. So I got to head out. Have a good Friday. Have a good weekend. And everybody make sure that you're building something. Be working on something. Be working on a project. Be building something. Make every day be working towards something. That's how you're going to get satisfaction, happiness in your life, and peace. Be working towards something. Have a project. And be focused on you. Be focused on you and